Welcome to my channel TechSetGo. The Logitech MX series has always been a name that stands out in the world of productivity mice. For years, Logitech has managed to strike the perfect balance between function and form. With each new version, they've made changes that might look subtle at first, but end up improving the experience in a noticeable way. Now, with the upcoming MX M4, Logitech seems ready to do it again. Refine, improve, and possibly set a new standard for professional mice. And based on what we know so far, this could be the most exciting update yet. The MX M4 isn't officially released yet, but that hasn't stopped the buzz from spreading online. Leaked images, speculation, and breakdowns from tech insiders have fueled interest. People are eager to know what Logitech has changed and what will remain the same, because for many users, especially those who work long hours at a desk, this mouse is not just a tool, it's a part of their workflow. A small change can make a big difference. That's why even the smallest leak has fans talking. One of the most talked about upgrades is the addition of a third side button. Traditionally, the MX series has included the usual forward and back buttons on the side, right where your thumb naturally rests. These are programmable, meaning you can assign them to do pretty much anything from switching between desktops to launching applications or controlling media. But now, with a third button being added ahead of those two, users get even more customization. This might sound like a small feature, but for people who rely on their mouse for more than one just pointing and clicking, it's a big deal. Think about video editors, designers, programmers, or even casual users who love customizing their setup. Adding another button means one more shortcut that can be assigned over time. This can make your workflow faster and smoother. It's not just about adding a button, it's about adding more possibilities. Now, what's even better is that Logitech hasn't sacrificed comfort to make room for this third button. From the leaked images, the signature ergonomic design seems to remain intact. If you've used any previous MX mouse, you'll know that the sculpted grip is one of its strongest features. It's designed specifically for right-handed users and fits the hand like a glove. The shape encourages a relaxed grip, helping to reduce wrist and hand fatigue, especially during long hours of use. The MX Master series is often recommended by professionals for this reason alone. Logitech understands that comfort is not a luxury, it's a necessity, especially if you're someone who spends 8 to 10 hours a day clicking and scrolling. With the MX M4, Logitech has shown once again that they respect the user's physical comfort. And they've proven that adding new features doesn't have to come at the cost of ergonomics. Another small but smart change is to the gesture button. This is the button that sits right under your thumb. It's been part of the MX design for a while now, and it lets you control extra functions by holding it down and moving the mouse in different directions. For example, you can swipe left to switch between desktops, or swipe down to show all windows. It's a powerful feature, but not everyone uses it, mainly because some people find it hard to locate quickly by touch to fix that. The MX M4 adds a dotted ring around the gesture button. This ring is tactile, so even if you're not looking at the mouse, you can feel the button instantly. That's a clever little design change, and it solves a real problem. You don't need to waste time hunting for the button, and your focus stays on your screen. It's a good example of how Logitech is refining the product based on real user feedback. Let's move to another upgrade that might go unnoticed at first, but makes life easier in the long run. That's the battery indicator LED, which is now relocated beneath the main scroll wheel. In previous models, the battery indicator was harder to spot. You often had to flip the mouse over or open software just to check if your battery was running low. That's not ideal, especially if you're in the middle of a meeting or deep into a task. You don't want to be caught off guard by a dead battery by moving the LED to a more visible position. Logitech is making battery monitoring easier. It's just a quick glance and you know where you stand. It's another small change, but one that improves daily usability. It shows that Logitech is thinking about real-world use, not just specs and numbers. Because it's these little moments of friction that can disrupt your flow, and Logitech wants to remove them. Now let's talk about materials. One of the few criticisms that users had about older MX mice was about the rubberized parts. While the material felt soft and premium, at first it didn't always age well. Over time, the rubber could wear out or become sticky. For people who use the mouse daily, this was frustrating. It didn't affect performance, but it made the mouse look and feel less premium with the MX M4. There's speculation that Logitech might finally address this. Rumors suggest that they could replace some of the rubberized parts with more durable materials. If this turns out to be true, it could significantly improve the longevity of the mouse. It could maintain that clean, premium look and feel for years. And that matters, especially at this price point. If you're spending over $100 on a mouse, you expect it to last. This potential change also shows Logitech's willingness to listen to user feedback. They're not just focused on adding new features. We're also looking at what has unworked well in the past and finding ways to improve it. This kind of attention to detail is what sets a product apart in a crowded market. Speaking of long-term usage, the thumb rest might also be getting an upgrade. Leaks hint at a deeper cutout in the thumb area. This could offer even more comfort and support. Again, it's a small tweak, but when you add up all these changes, a third button, better gesture control, improved battery visibility, tougher materials, and a deeper thumb rest, you start to see the full picture. This isn't a radical redesign. It's a targeted evolution. Logitech is taking what already works and making it better. This approach makes a lot of sense. The MXM lineup already has a loyal fan base. Logitech doesn't need to reinvent the wheel. What they need to do is remove friction, improve comfort, and add just enough new features to make the upgrade feel worth it. What the MXM4 seems to be doing? Let's pause for a second and reflect on why this matters. In a world where tech companies often chase hype with flashy gimmicks, Logitech is focusing on real utility. They're making changes that matter too. People who use these products every day. Whether you're editing a film, designing a poster, coding an app, or just organizing files, these features help you work faster, feel more comfortable, and stay focused longer. The MXM4 seems to embrace this philosophy. It's about smarter design, not louder design. It respects the user's time, their habits, and their preferences. It doesn't try to change how you work. It tries to support the way you already work, but better. That's a big part of why people trust Logitech and why this release is so anticipated. Another thing worth noting is how these changes position the MXM4 in the market. Adding more programmable buttons, tweaking comfort, and refining materials. All of this suggests that Logitech is not chasing gamers or casual users. They're staying true to their core audience, power users, creators, and professionals who care deeply about their tools, people who want reliability, customization, and comfort, all in one device. Sure, it's not the most affordable mouse on the market. The expected price is between $135 and $150. That might seem high to some, but if you look at the full package, all the thoughtful improvements, the legacy of reliability, and the years of feedback that shaped this model, it starts to make sense. For the right user, this is not a cost. It's an investment. And remember, this is just the first half of the story. We haven't even touched on the performance improvements that might be coming, including one of the most requested features, a higher polling rate for smoother performance. That's a major topic and we'll cover it in the next section. For now, what we can say is this. The Logitech MXM4 is shaping up to be more than just another release. It's the result of years of iteration, listening, and smart design. The changes may seem small in isolation, a button here, a tweak there, but together they paint a picture of a device made with care, purpose, and attention to real user needs.